Going.
Mr. Andre said, "What's up?" He said, "What's up?"
Heard great things about you, man.
All right. Looks like we are live right now. I hope everyone is doing well. You guys know how I get down. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up on my Facebook page so I can see the comments. I know in this program that we use, sometimes you guys want to, you don't click the right button, so I can't see who I'm talking to. But hope that everyone is having a great day, you guys. I am super excited about our guest today. Mr. Andre C. Hatchett. He is someone that I have known, my goodness, for I would say at least 6 years now. I met Andre just through I took a course about building wealth in the Black community. And then through that course, we brought some people to Dallas to do some financial literacy training. And just through that, man, I was able to meet Andre. Andre is probably, I'm not going to say, man, if I had to make a list of top 5 solid dudes, Andre is definitely in the top 3. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason he's in the top 3 and I can't put him number 1 is because my best friend would kill me if I put, him above, since I've known my best friend my whole life and my other homeboy as well. But Andre is one of the coolest people I know. He's very thorough. He will, he'll help you if you're willing to help yourself. I've seen him, help so many people and help them transition to get from where they are to where they want to be. I'm super excited. Some of you all in the group, you guys kind of know this circle. You're kind of seeing some of these same people. We had, Charles Oglesby from Todd Capital come in. We got Andre speaking to us. I'm gonna get Erica Williams in here to talk to us. And y'all, we're gonna recycle some of these people through, because these are the people who you really need to hear, you need to talk to, and you need to get down with. But before we get started, you guys know how we get down. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Real Youth Mentoring commercial. As always, you guys, we always need your support. So let me go ahead and get that going, and we'll jump into today's topic.
Making moves. Real Youth Mentoring is a nonprofit organization that provides support to young men across the United States, teaching them to be better scholars, better leaders, and productive members of their community. Through service, scholarship, and engagement, we address the systemic issues that often plague low-income communities while providing solutions rooted in economics and accountability. Visit our website, www.realyouthmentoring.org, to learn how you can join and learn ways that you can provide support. The change we need is here, and the change we need is now. Become a member and a supporter today.
All right, you guys, you know what it is. Do me a favor and visit www.realyouthmentoring.org. Subscribe today, become a donor. You guys, you can become a donor for as low as $19 a month. Andre, he has supported us since day one. Andre remembers when we weren't calling ourselves Real Youth Mentoring. We was calling ourselves something else. Andre's been a part of the transition and everything. He's looked out for us since day one. So visit the website. Also, you guys visit my website, www.realdopetim.com, where you can actually purchase my book, Real Dope, an in-depth comparison between real estate and the dope game. I hit my 5-year anniversary this year. And you guys, it's been an amazing journey. 100% of those proceeds go to benefit Real Youth Mentoring. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the man of the hour, Mr. Andre C. Hatchett. What's going on, my brother? How you been? Are you muted? Let me unmute you really quick. Look like you're muted.
Testing.
Testing. I can hear you. What's going on, my man? I'm excited about this one, man. What's good?
It's an honor to be here, Ben. Appreciate the warm intro. And to be called one of the top 5 solid dudes in your circle, because you know what you mean to me. And I say to you, say to anybody who I get to talk to you about, official. And being known as a solid dude is not a light thing. A lot
of people ain't solid. They're not solid. Let me do something really quick, Andre. Something I forgot to do, you guys, before. I was so excited to introduce Andre. I completely forgot to read off his bio. So Andre is a nationally acclaimed entrepreneur and philanthropist. Andre is the owner of the Black Real Estate School, Andre's Notary School, the Notary Business School, and the co-founder of Buy Black NYC. Known as Mr. Buy Black, Andre is the driving force behind the National Black Business Challenge social media campaign that encourages African Americans to patronize Black-owned businesses, record feedback about their experience via their cell phone, and then post the footage online using the Black Business Challenge hashtag. The campaign which was initially planned for 30 days, but has since increased to 395 days, garnered the attention of media outlets and sparked mass appeal in Black economics. So, Andre, man, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate everything you've ever done. You've put me on so much game. Anytime I've ever needed you for something, you've always come through, vice versa, man. You know, anytime you've ever reached out, I've always lent myself to your platform. Whenever you in D-Town, I try to link up with you, man. I remember that time you guys came in for something, man. We went out to Lolo's and had a good time that night, man. We had a good time that night, man. That was like one of the days that we actually found. That was the first time we just kind of sat down and chopped it up, man. And we've been rocking strong ever since then. So listen, let me explain what's going on here, man. So I have this group we created. It's called Real Solutions with Tim Jackson, and you know how I get down. You know, I like you. I see a lot of things that frustrate me about society, and I say, you know what, we need to change it. I like to poke the bear sometimes. I like to complain, but I always come with a solution. So no matter what people say about me, I'm really hard on my people. I'm hard on everybody. You know, I always get. It's so funny because, you know, white people who don't really lead with solutions can't stand me. Black folks who don't lead with solutions can't stand me. So I'm an equal accountability opportunist, right? and within this group, you know, everyone who knows me knows I love my people, I advocate for my people. Within this group, we have people from all backgrounds, but they understand, you know, we're going to talk that Black stuff, man, because that's what we do. Because I believe firmly that if you can solve the problem of the Black man and the Black woman, then you can solve the problem of this world. And so that's kind of how I rock. So without further ado, we're going to talk about your notary business, because this is Side Hustle Week, and I've been talking about this notary business pretty strong. And everybody who's in here watching this, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching a replay, say what's up to Brother Dre. You know, welcome him into this group. You know, we have a tight knit group. We don't let everybody come in here. I'm very selective about who I approve in this group. If people aren't really active in the group, we go through and we purge them. We don't have time for people who just want to kind of sit back and, you know, just be in the group, just to be in the group. I want to make sure people are engaging and applying. So I want you to tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. Honored to be here. Hope everyone's doing well. Tim, great intro of the year. Hardcore entrepreneur, 38 years old. Been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, selling lemonade. We shovel snow. I'm from New York, so we were out there shoveling snow, selling candy at school, having my friends selling candy at school for me and with me. Now, I've just always been that guy, you know, hardcore pro-Black. I call myself an actionist, where I'm going to take action on not everything, because I can't solve everything, but I am going to take action on an issue or two on a consistent basis and earn an honest dollar while doing so and loving on my people, man. And that's who I am. When I was 23, I started my mobile notary company. It's just a simple, consistent business that has paid me for over 15 years, and I've taught 1,000 people how to do it as well. So honored to be here, guys.
Hey, you got some fans in the chat room. Somebody said, founder B, you got somebody here, my boy Drew. Drew, click on that link at the top, and so we can see your name. Drew's like, that's the founder of BMU, man. That's a solid dude.
United, what up?
You know what's funny? I met Drew in Atlanta at the ABNC. The first year they did it.
Oh, yeah,
Drew Black, yeah. So I met him. He saw me when I sat on the panel. So he's followed that whole group, that whole clique. He's solid dude, man. Whenever I need some muscle in the social media comments, I hop in Drew's inbox like, hey man, where you at? That's my guy. But check this out. Let's get started. You know, this is Side Hustle Week. I always want to bring people in at the end of the week, the experts, because what I like to do in this group is I like to set people up so that they can have a foundation. So once you guys come in here, they can actually apply what you give them and apply, what's being taught to so that they make the best this time. Because, up until now, I'm not charging anybody to be in this group. A lot of people charge for the stuff we're doing, but man, it's a lot. I got a whole book on how to monetize on a Facebook group, but I ain't even did that. I've actually taught them this past week. I've been teaching them, different aspects of Facebook marketing and, having a database and stuff like that. So I'll ask you a few questions, but mainly, why did you get into the notary business? Like, what sparked that at 23 years old? What sparked that?
I'm gonna tell you what sparked that. So I I do well at jobs when I've had them. Ever since I had a formal job when I was 14 years old, I never liked it. I never liked taking orders from people. I never liked having to show up at a certain time. Never liked having to silence yourself when, or potentially silencing yourself when dealing with racism at the job. So I just, even though I did them, I never liked them ever. So for me, it was always how am I going to leave the full-time workforce? And I say all this, I'm not dumping on anybody with a job. If you like it, rock it out. If you're working on an exit strategy, rock it out. I am not dumping on you, I'm telling you about what works for me. So I have a friend named Ricky Simon. At the time, he was like a friend of a friend, but we knew each other. And they were telling me he shows up somewhere, he makes $75. He's there for 5, 15, 20 minutes, $150 there for half an hour, $200, then 45 minutes. I'm like, what the hell are you talking? Like, what is this? And I shouted him for a day. I saw what he did, and I was hooked because it's just something that's needed, something that he had too much work at that time. And I was just looking for an out from the 9-to-5 world. And this made the most strategic sense. And I knew that I can get involved with little money out of pocket. So for me, Tim, some people label themselves as different kind of entrepreneurs. I've just been really good at taking simple things and scaling the heck out of them.
That's really dope, man, because, when I talk to people, everyone knows where I'm going to go because I always use the exact same analogy. I believe in consistency. I'm a baseball guy. That's always been my favorite sport. People see me walk into a room. I'm 6'2", 220. Well, I'm about a little heavier than that now, but my average weight, they think that I can play basketball. I done disappointed so many people at the pickup game. I come on the court like, hey, I want that guy. And then they give me and we don't win. But baseball was always my sport. I love baseball. That's the only sport I played. That's the only sport I feel like I'm good at. And I like it because baseball is a game of, essentially, you're going to fail.
Yes.
If you bat 300, that means that you strike out 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the main, thing about baseball that people don't understand is that the purpose is to get on base. The purpose isn't to make a home run. The purpose is to get on base. Right.
You gotta do it.
And if you make those incremental moves, you get on base, you get to second base, you get to third base, and you can get to base by somebody walking you, meaning that they make mistakes and it advances you. You can get the base because you hit a ball and you advance because you're good, or you can get advanced because somebody hit you with the ball. Like you took what felt like an L, but you got propelled up, right? Mm-hmm. And now once you get on base, your job is to get home. And so when you said, find something and just do it, incrementally and get better and better and better. A lot of people who come into business, even with side hustles, is that they see the benefit, because if they don't see the benefit, they wouldn't even start it. But then when they get into it, the consistency isn't there. They fail a few times, they get told no a few times, and then they give up, right? So tell me, what was it like? Describe to me that first month in the notary game.
So I came in at an advantage because my boy Ricky was doing so well. So the day I got my stamp, Tim, he was actually calling me saying, "Get stamp, I got so much work." I was like, "Yo, I ordered it. Ricky is coming."
Now, when you say stamp, what's a stamp?
A notary stamp.
Okay.
Stamp. So the day I got it in my hand, all day at the job, I made $100 or so, working 6-7 hours. I had my first appointment. I made $47 in 20 minutes. And I was hooked, and I got paid in cash. I was freaking hooked at that point. So I had work coming in from him. I probably made, if I had to give it's been 15 years, so if I had to give a low estimate, 1,000 to 1,500. Mm-hmm. My first month that I got it, my first month I got it, I was.
First month, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. If you consider I spent probably $700 out of pocket.
And you know what's so funny is because you were in New York, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of regulatory stuff. Here in Texas, we don't have all that.
No.
You literally fill out an application.
Mm-hmm.
They do a background check. You pay like $10 or $15 and you get your stamp. My mother-in-law got her stamp and she's probably used it 3 or 4 times. But I mean, it happened so quick. My attorney got a notary stamp. She's like, "Oh yeah, you just go onto the Secretary of State page, fill out this application. Mm-hmm. They run your background, make sure you don't have any, felonies and stuff like that, and then they issue." So your $700 in New York is like $30 here in Dallas.
It's true.
Now, when you start adding up your book and your stamp, you might spend $100, but that's the low cost to get started.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, New York and California are known to make licenses and procedures a lot harder than the rest of the country. So I did take tests. I actually failed the test. I take it twice, and I'm not the best test taker. But man, Tim, $47 of your own money in 20 minutes. That feeling has never left the soul. It felt really good. And
that was before a pandemic when people weren't really supposed to be leaving, right?
Yeah, it was before the pandemic, before the recession. This is 2004-ish, 2005. That was for 2005. Yeah, man. Money was coming in.
So I'm in real estate. I've been in real estate for 16 years now. But the first time I learned of the concept of a mobile notary was when I refinanced my house.
Yep.
So I refinanced my house back in, let me see, you were born in what?
2009.
2009. I should know that, right? I did that on purpose to engage him. So anyway, and so I refinanced my house, I want to say in 2010. And I said, well, where's the title company going to be at? Like, where do I need to go? They said, oh, no, we're going to send you a mobile notary. And I was like, a mobile notary? And so this guy pulls up, at the time I refied with Wells Fargo. He shows up with a stack of papers.
Yeah.
And he stamped me. I think he made $125. And it only took us about 35. It was a refi. So it took us about 40 minutes.
Okay.
And this guy had it down to a science, man. He got it, he took a picture of my of my driver's license, and he uploaded it into some system. And then I got an email like the next morning, like your deal is funded and you're good to go. So I was like, all right. So then, of course, I met you and I knew about the mobile notary business. But then when we refinanced this house that we're in now, I'm going to say we refinanced this house. No. We bought an investment property, and the guy came to the office, and so I sat down and chopped it up with him, and he was literally telling me everything that you have been saying. You know how somebody tells you something and it doesn't make sense, or you understand it, but then when someone actually shows up and shows you it, you're like, wow,
it's confirmed. Yeah.
And this guy, he said he worked in the airline industry as a stewardess, or airline stewardess. And he said he did that to keep his, he wanted to travel a lot. And then someone put him on mobile notary. So he ended up marrying a lady who was also a stewardess. Well, he got out the business because, he still got the benefits through her.
Yeah.
And he says they own property in France. And he says, the way he sets it up, he starts telling me how much he was making. And he said, I earn 6 figures a year, easily. And I said, okay, let me buy this course. I think when he left is when I bought your course. Yeah. And so, so we talked about how you got into it. We talked about, what it cost you to get into it. Let's shift gears. Why do you think that so many people sleep on this business?
Great question. Because ever since you know me, if I got a good idea or something's working, I'm going to tell people. I'm going to do it on YouTube. I'm doing it in person.
You've been preaching this for as long as I've known you. You're the first person I ever met that owned a mobile notary business.
Facts.
Yeah.
People, especially our people, like sexy, flashy things we can brag about.
Okay. That's deep.
If you watch the ESPN documentary Broke about football, I think it was about football players only, if I'm not mistaken. And they highlighted football players who went broke and some didn't. They invested in things like restaurants, nightclubs, high risk, high reward, really high risk. Things that can make you 10 or 20 or 30% on your money with a lower risk aren't as sexy or as flashy. So when I used to get offended to the point where I would tell people about what I do, and they would laugh at me, right? You're a notary, you're just a notary. And I was telling one guy at church back in the day, 2006, 2007, yeah, I'm doing this business and people aren't really giving me props. He asked me how much I made. He's a PhD. He said, I made $600 on Friday, $800 on Saturday. I made $500 after church that day. I'm like, you made what? He's like, dude, you need to not care about what they think because you're making more money than them. And I realized, oh, shoot, he's right. So people are sleeping on it because it's not sexy or flashy, or they don't see the potential in it. when they hear notary, they think of $2 at the bank. And even when I tell people, sometimes they still don't get it because it doesn't have that sex appeal.
Listen, that's what I thought.
The weekend is sexy to me. I don't know about you, but $50 in 2 days, that's sexy.
That's what I thought when I heard. Because, like, you know, if you're driving by, you know, as a kid, I used to see people who had the Notary Public sign in their front yard.
Yeah.
And so then you would, you know, they only charge you $10 to do it. And so I always thought of it was like, it's just a quick little $10 here, you know, some gas money. But times have completely changed and the business has completely changed. And it's funny you say that. You say they don't see the business as something that's sexy. They see it as something that's ugly. And on the flip side of that, I'm in real estate. People think real estate is so sexy, man.
Oh, real estate. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So much so that everybody and their mama is getting a real estate license and they're just driving the value of real estate down so much. Like, you know, when people tell me they're getting ready to get a real estate license, I'd be like, what Tariq said, give me a knife.
Oh man, an appraiser license, inspector,
right? I mean, and not because it's a bad thing, but because of what happens is, and you guys know me, I'm transparent. This is my group. I joke around a lot, but I always feel like I'm the blame for the reason why people get a real estate license because it looks so easy. But there's so much work that goes into being a real estate agent, like
incredible.
And they don't prepare you whatsoever in real estate school.
It's on you.
It's on you. And so then you have a job like a notary where it's not a hard job to do. You have to know how to maneuver through the game. And if you follow the right people, like your course at the bottom, and we're going to talk about you so where people can find you as well. But, you know, it can be very lucrative if you know how to use it. In fact, I bought your course. I'm actually going to take your course and get my notary's license, my stamp here, because I really see the benefit of it. And because we're getting our debt, like my goal is to have my house paid off in 3 years. I start investing into the stock market. So all the extra money I'm getting, I'm pouring into either debt elimination or wealth creation.
I love it.
So let's dive a little bit deeper. So you get this, you get your notary stamp. You got, for some they'll say it's lucky, others say you got really blessed and fortunate to work with someone who was doing well. Tell us the funniest experience that you've ever had in the field as a notary.
The funniest experience in the notary field. Good question.
Or the strangest experience.
Yeah.
I can break the ice. I remember the strangest experience I ever had in real estate. We walked into this house and it felt like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. And so as soon as we walked in, it felt just weird.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we were looking around and it was really eerie. And when we got upstairs into this room, there were a bunch of little small skulls that had hair coming out of it.
Yeah.
And when we saw that, we turned around and got the hell up. I don't think I've ever left a house so quick. I said, I know how these movies end. You know, the black people always, you know, they die first. I'm getting the hell out of here, right? So give me the funniest or the strangest story that you have in the game.
So I was doing a refinance loan closing. I think this one was paying me $135. This company actually gave me so much work, like 5-6 closings a day some days. I was eating off of that. I went to do the closing. So it looked like, allegedly, the guy had an affair at his job and he was paying out a settlement. So he refinanced out his house. Again, this is just me picking up cues. And the wife was there and she was throwing a lot of subliminals and a lot of comments saying, I hope it was worth it. Like, look what you did to us.
Cringeworthy.
He was refinancing out the house to pay off the woman from the job who we had.
So she had him kind of locked in and was pretty much exploiting him, huh?
That's what
that was a tongue-in-cheek moment. That's when you sitting there like, okay, on this next page.
That's what I was like, yo, get me out of here. Because he was pissed.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. You know, it's funny because I'm a people person. I like to meet
very
people.
Much so. Very
I
much
love a conversation. The wife and the kid. Well, me and the wife went to Vegas for a couple of days. at the end of this week, after all the snowmageddon, I said, baby, let's get on the plane and let's go to Vegas. And we flew out on Sunday and we hung out Sunday, Monday, and came back Tuesday. But while we were there, we had a chance to kind of sit down and identify some things that we wanted to do. And I was talking to her about the mobile notary business and talk about things like that. And I started to think many times people have goals and they have dreams and aspirations. And typically those goals, dreams, and aspirations require money.
Yeah.
Right. So then they purchase a course or they take a class or do whatever, but they never complete it.
Yeah.
Do you see this a lot in the notary business? And if you had to give a reason why do you think that people start it and don't finish it? Why do you think it is that they're unsuccessful in it?
So most people don't finish most online programs that they take. Like it's like the majority for all. I think it's somewhere around 80%, 70-80%. So most people aren't going to finish it. People, not everyone's hungry, man. Not everyone's motivated, and things sound good. But I don't sugarcoat that it takes work. I make the branding, marketing looks good, but I tell you, you have to put in work. It's not difficult. It's simple, but it's a lot of simple steps. So people do a few things wrong in business in general. They start too many self-employed ventures at one time. So like if you have me on to a mobile notary and have people make between $2,000 and $12,000 a month who take our program, a lot of them, sounds great. You have someone else on, you're big on the inspector license and the appraisal license, if I'm not mistaken, right, Tim? About people getting those.
Yeah, I'm huge on people getting their inspection license. There's a shortage of inspectors and appraisers, so yes. So
you got me talking about how you can make. Look at people you make $5,000 a month. You have them coming on who also say you make $5,000 a month. You say, wow, that's $50,000 a month. Yeah, but that's $15,000 a month in self-employed money where you have 3 jobs to work yourself. Doable, but why not? Let's start one a quarter. Notary license the first quarter, appraisal license second quarter, inspector license last quarter. Then you can grow and systematize it where you have people working for you, where you're the middleman and you're getting the calls, you're farming out the jobs, you're getting half of that appraisal, half of that inspection, and half of the mobile notary money because now you have a system in place. That takes time. People like to rush everything. Everything has to be rushed. And if it doesn't work right away, it doesn't work.
We live in a microwave society.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down to speed up. And embrace the boredom. Success is boring. Tim is crushing it now. Tim, how many deals have you done the past 2 years? A whole bunch of them. You don't got to say.
You know what? So I can be transparent. The year before, I did really good. I took a hiatus once COVID hit. Like, I took a break. I said, you know what? This is my time to literally scale back and figure out what I want to do. So I did some deals last year. Matter of fact, I see a couple of my clients that are watching right now. But I did take a break. But the year before that, your boy did all right. Okay. I ain't got no truck note. I can throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? This house will be paid off in a couple of years. So I did all right.
And he got a flash truck, by the way. But anyway. So success is boring. Whatever you're doing. People make it sound good. Oh, if you're passionate about it, you don't have to work a day in your life. That's nonsense. It's work.
That's such a lie.
You have to embrace the monotony in the mobile notary or any other business to get to your success level. If you can embrace the monotony and the stagnation and just the not fun stuff that just comes along with being a business owner, you will make money.
So do you say in this business that you have to be a people person, or you can just kind of be, a person that's just about their business that shows up and they leave when they need to? Like, do you have to be a person? Because me and you, we walk into a room and we're going to naturally converse with people, or because people know us, like from our YouTube videos, or they know us from the things that we're doing, they're going to naturally gravitate to us because that's kind of who we are, right? I always tell the story. We went to Cuba for our anniversary, and there was a guy. We went to a club in Cuba. And this guy was like, we were talking, and this guy walked up and he was like, "Hey man, you're the guy from those YouTube videos, ain't you?" And I was like, "Damn, I'm in Cuba."
Cuba.
It felt good, So we talked the whole night. We kicked it. I think he bought us a couple drinks. But I have people in this group that are, if you look up introvert, you'll see a picture of them, peeking around the corner, right? Yeah. So do you have to be an extrovert to be successful in this business?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is a business where it's just it's straight up. You get the call. You get someone to call you or email you. You lock them down as a client.
Mm-hmm.
You show up to their house. You smile. You're friendly, of course, but you split. This isn't a friendly. This isn't like real estate. This isn't a friendly. Get to know you intimately. Talk over coffee for an hour. People sometimes they want you there chilling, and I have had the time where people have asked me to chill and we build rapport. But it's usually not like that. It's usually cut, laid, straightforward. Thank you for your business. I'll see you later. If you ever need me again, here goes my phone number. Give me a call. This ain't that. This is if you don't want to talk to people like that, this is probably ideal for you. And you don't even have to do all the jobs yourself, Tim. So we've been talking about from the self-employed aspect most of the time, which is what a lot of people do. But some people, they go the middleman route where they lock down the clients, have other people go do the jobs for them. So you don't even have to leave your house if you don't want to make money.
You know, it's funny you say that because a lot of people don't realize, especially in real estate, whenever I meet people and they say they want to get a real estate license, but the common conflict is that they work during the day and they can't show houses. Man, I mastered the art. First thing I mastered the art of is not letting people know that I had a job and
you told me that. Yeah,
and convincing them that the best time to see a house was after 5 o'clock. All right. But secondly, what I started mastering, and the reason I was able to expand my business outside the state of Texas, is the art of the referral. Like if you have someone who has the time, but you have the leads, then you could actually make a good amount of passive income just by sliding them a lead. Like, hey, this deal is paying $100. You know, I got it on the wire. It's on the wire for 200. My split is 100, and 10 or whatever. If you go get it, I'll give you, 75, right? Just let me keep the rest of the 35. And you're literally just making deals by getting people to work for you. And a lot of people, I always tell people, I don't know where I heard this concept. So if this video goes viral of some sort, and I mention this concept, I don't want to say I'm stealing it, but essentially someone said to me, or I heard that we need to master the art of not trying to make 100% of the money, but being satisfied with 30% of everything that we bring in, right? So if you can get to a situation where you're getting 30% of 10 different businesses, then you have continuous passive income, right? Mm-hmm. But also, 30% is a good number. I always think about Dollar Bill on a Players Club, when he gave a speech to Ebony, and what did he say at the end? And that's why I get 30%, right? And we laugh at that. But he was giving us game. He was saying, you don't have to be out there spinning your wheels. You don't have to be this is that. Be the facilitator and get the 30% and keep it moving, right? Because you may not want to quit your job, right?
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see. Somebody. Oh, that's you that posted that. Okay. So we're gonna post the course as well, and I'm gonna put it. Matter of fact, let me put it in the group chat right now. This is gonna be a link to where you can find the course that that Mr. Hatchett has. And if you guys enroll, you trust me, you'll benefit from this. Let me pin this course from the top for those who are watching on Facebook, and I'll go back and edit it on the YouTube page. All right. So now you've been in the game how many years?
I'm 38 now. It's 23, 24, 15 plus. Wow.
15 plus.
Yeah.
Okay. Same time with me in real estate. A lot of people don't know I started off as a loan officer.
I remember that.
My wife didn't even know that. We were having a conversation the other day. I was like, because when I was a loan officer, you were a loan officer? I'm like, dang, you don't be listening to my stuff. So now I don't feel bad knowing when William was born. Ain't that right, son? No, I got his birthday tattooed on me, guys. I know when my son was born. All right, so let's talk about the business itself. Now, Andre, just like I did with my last guest, we're not going to go too in depth because at the end of the day, I want people to visit your website. What people don't know about Andre is, Andre loves his people. He's for his people. But Andre owns and operates a lot of businesses, what I like to call shadow businesses that you would never even know that he owns, right? So let's talk about that because this is Side Hustle Week and we are focusing on notary. But I want you to talk about why it's important to learn a system, to learn something, systematize it, if that's a word, put a system in place, and then move on to the next thing. And before you know it, you've got a bunch of business. So that's kind of what you've done. Like I'll be sitting back, I'm like, Andre owns you probably got 100 websites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Entreport.
You probably got about 100 websites, and no one has any clues. Kind of like, when we found out that Dr. Claude Anderson was in the tilapia market, like he owned half the tilapia market. No one knew that forever. When I found out that Dr. Claude, like half the tilapia that's being sold in the United States comes from him, it blew my mind. So let's talk about, why do you think it's important to have those additional streams of income to either supplement what you do or to complement what you do?
Yeah. So talking the first part, mastery leads to multiple.
Okay.
Mastery leads to that whole 7 income stream thing, which I want to debate that at some point. I want to see the breakdown and study on that, about the 7 income streams that most millionaires have. I have some doubts about that. But anyway, mastery leads to everything you want. So my advice is go all in on something. So for me, I tried being a real estate agent. I tried other things. This was the thing that I was best. Not even the thing that I liked the most, Tim. This is the thing that I was best at.
Peel back those layers.
Gift over front end passion.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing that comes easiest to you that you can make the most money from.
Okay.
For me, that was this. So I said, okay, I'm trying different things. Let me go all in hardcore on this.
The one thing.
The one thing. And
that's a good book by Gary Keller. If you guys read that, Gary Keller, The One Thing, he talks about literally putting all of your energy into that one thing.
It is. And I was so, I was trying different things, but my problem was, like many people, trying to do too much at that time. And what I learned was to slow down and speed up. So I said, okay, this is what I'm going to go. This is going to be my main thing. This is going to be known for. This is what's going to make me the most money. Started teaching it. That went extremely well. Like I get people hitting me up every day or every other day saying that they left their job. They're making good part-time income. Their girl working with them. Their relationship is good because they're making an extra. An extra $1,000 a month coming into your household.
Say, man. Say, I don't think people understand the power of an extra $1,000 a month.
Man, listen, marriages can be saved for less. Have been saved for less, and I'm being real.
Most marriages end in financial despair. Like that's it. And it's like debt. Debt is a killer of relationships. Oh, right?
Yeah, it's nasty.
And so we had debt week last week, and I prepared my viewers on how it's important to eliminate your debt. You can't build wealth without debt. But a lot of times people say, well, Tim, I can't eliminate my debt because I don't make enough money. Well, okay, you don't make enough money. Well, we're going to have side hustle week then. So you'll be able to eliminate the excuse. So that's deep. That's dope.
That's it. So when all in, teaching it had great reviews. So I said, okay, this is my thing that's going to lead to more things. And I'm going to slow down to get there. So I started hiring better people. Good people cost money. Don't try to skip on good people. I have an email marketing consultant. Her name was Maria. Shout out to Maria. She takes care of the email. She did the email marketing blast for me. That email marketing blast the past 2 weeks probably made me $3,000, $4,000. And her fee, I don't want to say it out loud, but her fee's not that. She charges me a good number price, so I don't want to say it out loud.
You got to pay to play, man. And we can pin it right there for a second. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is that they want to invest in tools. We talked about that yesterday about how it's so important to have an email contact manager. I put them on. I put a link in the chat, but I use Active Campaign. I know people who use Constant Contact. It doesn't matter which one.
Yeah,
just get one. We got this commercial here. This car salesman. He says, "We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here." Right. So we don't care which one you use. Just get one. But what happens is people have a full-time job. They got kids. They got wifely or husband duties. They got everything going on, and then they're trying to have this side hustle. And instead of just paying someone to help them, leverage, they'll get burned out. And then it's like, well, man, that stuff didn't work. Well, if it didn't work, then how come so many people are successful?
Quality people cost. Entrepreneur cost me $300 a month. Right. At first I didn't want to. I'm like, damn, I know this money for these things, but I was frustrated. I watched Lamar Tyler and then with the whole ClickFunnels thing. I was like, damn, I tried to build my own funnel, didn't work.
It didn't work. I went through that same thing. I paid Lamar. Lamar prices done went up, but I paid Lamar a few stacks.
Yeah.
And that's my guy. Shout out to Lamar, man. Like that's my guy. If he ever watches this, He knows that I'm not being a Bama. That's our little inside joke. Cause he's from the DMV, so they call you a Bama when you acting up. But that was the best few $1,000s that I ever invested into my business, because he actually built out an email campaign. We made that money back so quick. We made all that money back.
There we go.
I just wasn't as consistent as I should have been. So so talk some more about those systems.
Yeah. So with all these things, he said I have his websites and stuff now. I stopped starting everything at the same time, and I just hired quality people. And I was the guy, Tim, who tried to work with people who you came up with and your family and all that stuff. I stopped all that. I work with what I call, at first, social media friends. Now we're real life friends. But people like you, people like Erica, who are like-minded, who don't have to convince of anything. I was trying to convince, and I meant well by it, but like they're who they are, and they're happy.
They don't see you as Andre C. Hatchett, the professional. They see you as Lil Dre.
Yep.
We just had this conversation in our group. They don't see me as Tim Jackson Realty, the professional. They see me as Little Timmy.
Yep.
Or Bam Bam. My aunt, that was my nickname growing up. My son's laughing. My aunt still calls me that until this day. I don't care where we are. Hey, Bam Bam, and they love you, right?
Yeah.
They want what's best for you, but they don't see you as a professional. So they're not gonna patronize you, or they're not going to, in many cases, they think they're doing you a favor by shielding you from failure. But what they're doing is they're leaving you hanging in a sense. But then I meet an Andre C. Hatchett, who I don't know from Adam. He can see my works. He can see he's been through this too. So
hit the ground running.
Yeah, and what happens is, because we know what the grind looks like, we can respect the grind. Like, we can spot the grind. So Andre, he knows he's taking a chance on Tim. This guy could be a dirtbag or not, but I'm gonna take a chance because he seems legit. And then once I prove myself once or twice, that's good. We brought Charles on here, and I had to, I told Charles, I said, man, I didn't know Charles, right? Mm-hmm. And at the time, I kind of felt like I was being overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff. People were coming at me left and right. I got burned. You know what it's like to get burned when you're really fooling with people. And so Charles reached out to me years ago about coming on this platform, and I was like, I need a console fee because I done got burned, and I didn't hear back from him. Well, 3 years later, I reach out to Charles. I'm like, hey man, but I offered to pay him. I'm like, hey man, what's your fee? I want to bring you on. Because, that's just where I come from, where I'm from, we compensate for time. But what I didn't understand was he's going to get compensated because he knows what he's doing, and people are going to trust him and they're going to buy his product. And so I told him, I said, man, my bad if I came off a little stiff. I wasn't trying to be Hollywood on you. It's just that I had gotten burned. I had gotten burned by people that I love. Y'all listen to me. Somebody watching this is going to feel this. I got burned because I was giving people that I love jobs. And they were unintentionally kind of leaving me hanging. I got burned because I was throwing so much money into what I call the wrong people at the wrong time, right?
You overextended yourself.
I was seeing more in people that they were seeing in themselves, because we want everyone to succeed. And that's why I don't have these conversations on my regular Facebook page anymore. I talk to people in my group who are about that action. So that's deep, man. That's deep what you said. That Charles posted something the other day. He said, hustle so hard that the people who wouldn't return your calls start reaching out to you. I said, all right, I felt that. I put it in my group. Ain't no shame in my game. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn. Sometimes you got to learn. What they say, sometimes you got to lose to win, right?
And that's what it is. All right.
So we're coming up on 15 minutes left. If you guys have any questions for Andre, type them here. And then if you guys are watching this on replay, type your questions in and I'll get them back to Andre. So let's say I'm in Texas, because now we know your notary school is a nationwide thing. So speaking specifically to the people in Texas, how long does it typically take for a person in Texas to get up and running?
So if you already have your license, you can start making money if you follow our steps within 2 to 3. Let's even say a month. I'll say a month to be gracious, but some people like 2 to 3 weeks. If you don't have your license, depending on what part you're in, it might take longer than others with everything going on now. But I still think it will take you under a month. So let's say 3 to 4 weeks to get your license in your hand. 2 to 3 weeks of studying and training. 6 weeks you're making money.
Okay, all right.
And we have a lot of students in Texas. I want to be a lot. DFW.
Texas fool with you, man.
Instead of Tokyo, I get a lot of Texas tea.
It's so much money to be made here and in Atlanta. There's so much money, Florida, that I think that a lot of people sleep on what we're doing because it appears to be so easy. And so naturally people don't want something that's easy, but like the take is there. Like you just got to get into it.
Bingo.
I got a comment. Let me see if somebody got a question for you, Brother Dre. All right. So he said, let me see who this is. On this platform, I can't see who's saying it, but on my live, I can. The question says, ever had a safety concern with the notary business? I'm guessing it's probably one of the ladies in our group, but go ahead and
So I'm tall, I'm black, I'm from New York. Not saying anything can happen to me, but I kind of walk around like I'm good. So
I mean, you kind of look like you with the shits. So a lot of people probably don't mess with you.
I do have a little street edge.
People don't realize like you what are you 6'2" or 6'1"?
6'2".
You my height. So when I saw you, you know how you watch people on TV on videos, and then when you meet them, you're like, dang. Like when I met Tariq when he came to Dallas, I was like, now I realize he's like 6'5",
Tall.
That dude big in the mug, and he's solid too, right? So a lot of people won't try with you, but what advice would you give to a woman who's in this business? Who maybe it's like my wife is 5 foot, 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would get the client's ID ahead of time, and if you want to go even one step further, ask them for their social media link. Say, hey, as safety precaution, I need a copy of your ID ahead of time, and I need a link to your social media. I'm going to give this to my assistant, to my sister. I give her that information before every appointment just to make sure that my safety is our priority. So if anybody is on any nonsense, I don't think like them, but I would think that would scare them and not try anything crazy. And if it's a late night appointment, have them meet you outside if you like. Still get the ID ahead of time and all that stuff. Have them meet you outside. And hey, look, pay one of your homeboys or homegirls to come with you if you feel a threat. But I have heard very, very, very few mishappenings with women or anybody else in this industry. Thank God.
That's real. When I've been in real estate 16 years, I would say in the 16 years I've been in the game, I've seen 2 instances where somebody like a woman realtor, there's one guy here who like lured some woman realtor and then kind of beat her up really bad. Yeah. I remember that happened in Allen, Texas. And then I saw something else where something happened, I want to say in Maryland or somewhere. It's few and far between. And, one thing about being in Texas, a lot of us conceal, I ain't showing no house without that thing on me, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I don't know someone, right? Mm-hmm. I've walked into houses at night and the lights are off, there's no electricity. Yeah. And it's like, I have my flashlight, but I don't know what's coming around that corner. So a lot of times I walk in and say, hey, the lights are off. Let me just make sure everything is good. But that thing got a flashlight on it too. You know what I'm saying? So, you'd hate to have to put yourself in that position. But in Texas, a lot of people are packing. Oh, yeah. People who are in states like New York, where it's just, luck of the draw. You're essentially saying that it's not a situation where you're going into it like, oh my God, anything can happen right now, right?
Bingo. Yeah, hardly ever. We with a lot of I have a lot of colleagues who are ladies. I've heard very, very, very few stories of bad stories in my 10 years. Okay.
Another question says, what if I have a notary through my employer? Can I use that? Do I go out and get my own? Can I have 2? So this particular person, Rhonda, she's been certified as a notary through her employer. So does that typically work? Can she get her own notary book and use her a new notary stamp for her, or is it typically tied to the employer?
Yeah, all you need is one. So if you're commissioned, you're commissioned through your state, not through your job. Your job might have just paid for you to get it, but when it's time to renew it, you'll pay to renew it if you leave there. I don't know what state you're in, but probably between $40 and $120. But you're not licensed through your job. You're licensed through the state. The state oversees your license. Your job probably just pays for it. And you do not need 2 licenses for one state. I don't think you can have 2 in one state. So all you got to do is pay your renewal fees when it's time for you to renew your license. That's it. You'll be good.
Would it be wise to possibly get a second book that you have specifically for what you're doing outside of work versus what you're doing at work?
A notary journal. That's what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, notary journal.
You can notary journal for your side jobs, and you'll be good to go like that.
And don't commingle them. You're good to go. All right, that's a good question. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for that question. What other questions do we have? Rhonda, we be cutting up on Facebook. Our birthday's a day apart, so we kind of got the same personality type, but she's about her business. Okay. So let me ask you one more question because we're getting ready to wrap it up. A few more questions. What would you say, in your opinion, is the greatest benefit of having your notary stamp?
Great question. I'll tell you what somebody told me. I have a friend. He was into it. He was out of it. He was trying to figure out life. He said, "You know what, Dre? You taught me that with this stamp, I can get a job, get fired from a job, and I'll always be able to make money no matter where I am." Now, you get to get these separate licenses, you go to a different state, but having the knowledge and that commission gave him the confidence that he can make money no matter where he is. And I second that. There are just so many avenues and so many ways, so many documents that need to be notarized. Even with the pandemic going on, I was like, oh shoot, like I survived the recession, but the pandemic, people made more money. A lot more.
Yeah, what's my favorite saying? Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Never, man, Tim. I had a lady, she's in North Virginia. She signed up in February. By April, she had $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month.
I know people in real estate that don't have $6,000 months.
Man, listen, real estate agents are great. Obviously, you're the best, top tier in the country, numbers wise. I'm not making this up numbers wise. Man, licenses like this, man, take advantage of them, please, because people overlook it. Even to this day, people overlook it. And I'm like, all right, I got 15,000 people who did it.
Oh, wow. You've had 15,000 people come to your course?
You had 15,000 over the years. Yeah.
All right. So for everybody watching this, whether it's today or years to come, lunch on Andre when I see him. When they tell me, you down in Georgia now, right? Or you up in New York? Well, here, I don't let you pay, do I?
Or Erica or anybody else. Tim.
So me and Erica, we be getting them points. You know what I'm saying? We flew somewhere and only paid like $16 for the fee. So them points, man, I'm a points king, so.
I remember a few summers ago, you were on a plane every other week with that owner be on yellow shirt on. You was everywhere.
Hey, I took that shirt everywhere. That's another company he has. I wore that shirt in Cuba. Yeah,
I'm gonna do some more of them too.
Every time I travel for a long time, I had that one, and there was another color when I had a black one. That's all I wore when I traveled. And people were like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Look it up." All right, so we're gonna wrap it up in just a couple of minutes, you guys. I don't see any more questions coming through, but I'm sure people are watching. People always come back and watch it on replay. Mr. Andre C. Hatchett, I put some of your social media handles there, but where's the best place they can find you?
The best place they can find me, check me out on Instagram. Check me out on Instagram. Post a bunch of stuff about what I do, what I'm going on, personal life and business stuff. So check me out there.
Is this the right handle that's up on the screen right now? The @Andre? Okay.
You got it.
And then the business page, is this the one here at the Notary Business School?
You got it.
Okay. Are you on Twitter too or no?
I am on Twitter. Twitter is my name, like Andre Hatchett as well. Andre Hatchett.
Okay, that's what's up. And what parting words do you have for the people who are watching this video, who are going to watch it today or in years to come?
Do not wait till you need an extra side hustle or extra income in order to start learning how to make one.
Man, now that in itself is a word. That goes along with this better to have and not need not have. Like, you guys, I talk about debt. Debt is like my thing. Like I'm the debt killer. I was able to literally take some time off of work for almost a year.
That's real.
Because the first couple of months, we were stagnant. We didn't know what we could do. So the state of Texas wouldn't even let us work. So it was just kind of like, all right. But after everything went back and things start settling in, I was able to just kind of fall back. Because what you just said, don't wait until you need something. Like, I knew that it was imperative for us to get out of debt and to eliminate certain things and get rid of those monthly payments. And so I started sharpening tools. I bought your course. I bought a couple other courses. I'm actually starting to implement them now. I'm implementing my stocks and stuff. But
Right.
Had I waited until now to do that stuff or waited until the pandemic popped off, I wouldn't have been able to take off and kind of refresh. And a lot of times, like even getting into real estate, I knew at a very young age I wanted a real estate license and I wanted to be in real estate. And I got it while I was working. And my first job when I came back to the military, I always joke and say I done got fired for almost every job I've ever had. Because, you know, I think I know everything. And so I learned at a young age that I need to work for myself. I'll never forget my first job that I got fired from when I came back in corporate, came back to Dallas from the military. I was like scrambling. So I went home and I was like, all right, you know, let me get up on this unemployment game. But then I said, well, I need to sell a house because, you know, unemployment is going to take 3 weeks to hit and rent is due, you know, whenever. And I got enough to carry me for a month. And so I went out and sold the house really quick. But just imagine had I not had my license.
Wow.
You know, I already had the license.
Mm-hmm.
And then like survival mode kicked in. It was like, okay, I got this tool in the shed. Let me sharpen it and get out there. Sold the house, found another job. And then I start parlaying it. You know, okay, let me start meeting people at my job. Second job I had, I was selling everybody houses at that job. You know what I'm saying? And then I actually put my notice in and left that job, went to another job and started doing the same thing. They ended up firing me. That's when I went back to school. But I had the tools already. I wasn't scrambling, you know? So dang, that's some good advice right there. Any other questions, you guys? You guys, if y'all are in here, like give Andre a round of applause. And if you're watching this, man, listen, I want to thank you so much. Hey, you got the what's that? The maracas over there, huh? You must have got them. See, you talk about me, but every time I looked up, your middle name was Andre We Work Hatchett.
I was on board for like 2-3 years. I was out.
I didn't even know what We Work was until I met you. Like you were here in Dallas. I'm like, dang, remember I met that dude because I came to your class that you did.
Oh, yeah.
You and the veteran guy. That guy's solid too. Matter of fact, small world. One of my boys who's also in this group, he connected with that guy, and the guy's helping him with some contracts.
Really?
And I'm telling you, perfect stranger. We didn't know that. I mean, that guy just talked to us. You remember that dude?
I remember he came up in there and was like, "Oh, we started talking and chilling."
We sat down and talked, and that dude, I'll tell you, a wealth of resources. But man, I looked up one day, man. You were in Dallas, then you were in Atlanta, you were in Chicago, you were in New York. I saw you on the West Coast. I'm like, this dude is living the life, man.
I was out. Well, and it all came. I want to let everyone know that it all came from front end grunt work. You do a lot of work up front. You can live. Some days I feel semi-retired. I can't front. Like some days I do feel a little bit semi-retired, man.
Hey, anyone who knows me knows that my goal is to retire at 45. So you know, like right now we're laying the framework. You know, the wife says she wants to be retired at 40. We're 5 years apart. That's the goal. That's the plan. Yeah. So if you think about what retirement is, retirement means that you don't need to work.
Bingo.
That's all it means. So we've always been taught to work the good job, get the gold watch, working for 30 years, but that is a flawed logic that doesn't apply to millennials, which we fall in that category. You know, that's Generation X thought process, right? And that worked for them for so long, but now we're learning like many of our parents are still working, you know, because they bought into the American dream, which is dead.
Yeah.
So you know, my goal is to be retired. 45 minutes, I want to be sitting on somebody's beach, drinking something out of a coconut, you know, writing books and speaking to kids. Like that's going to be my goal, right?
That's the one right there. That's the one sounds like a win to me.
Hey, that's the one. Then I'll let you buy lunch.
All right. What don't be that?
All right, guys, listen up. Andre C. Hatchett, my brother, I appreciate you for coming in, the serial entrepreneur. I'm going to encourage anybody in here that's watching this video, whether you're watching it live, you're watching on replay, you're watching 2 or 3 years from now, I want you to visit Andre's website, www.thenotarybusinessschool.com. I want you all to explore this additional source of income. This is something that I did. You guys know the rules of my video and the rules of my group. I will never, ever, ever ask you to do something that I personally have not done or that I'm not willing to do. I have this course. I'll be completing this course. More than likely, I'll have it all done by middle of March based on my calendar. And I look to have my stamp by April. That's my goal. So I encourage you all. I see my girl Trisha's in here. She just bought a house from me. She just gave a round of applause. Let me see if I can get Trisha's comment. But she over here clapping, right? You know, but I know Trisha's a hustler. She has her main gig, but she has a photography business as well. I see a few other people in here. Latoya is a real estate agent. You know, Latoya, you can really benefit from this course. I know some people in here that are really, really trying to get from where they are to where they want to be. This is a good way to do it. It's a quick, easy way. And when you take Andre's course, he's going to specifically tell you what to do. All right. He's not going to say, well, I think this may work, or I think that may work. He's going to specifically, like I showed you guys on my previous videos, specifically what systems I'm using. He's going to specifically tell you what to do. And if you follow that blueprint, you're going to be all right. All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, my brother, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. For everyone who's watching, back on replay, comment, share, invite a friend to the group, somebody who is like-minded, invite someone to subscribe to the page, someone who's like-minded. We don't need any contrarians or any naysayers. This is all about solutions. I appreciate you guys for joining in, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.